All right, welcome everyone to our Tuesday Zoom meeting. And this is going to be our basic training. So I am going to just do a little screen share. Hold on, I'm going to stop the share till I get the right PowerPoint up, which I thought I had. Here we go. And share screen. All right, so can everyone see the screen?
Yep, I can.
And do you guys see it full screen with not just one picture?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I figured it out because remember how it used to show the presenter view and all the other slides and everything. So that is fantastic. All right, well, we're going to jump right into it. So most of you guys know who I am. My name is Stephanie Blackbird. I've been with Isagenix for over 10 years, and I'm a 4-star Golden Circle, 1-star executive. And I have the incredible honor and privilege of having attained millionaire status with Isagenix, which is fantastic. But 10 years ago, I must say, 11 years ago, that was not the case. I was not in a good place at all. Before Isagenix, I was really struggling with my health and with my finances. I was feeling exhausted, wiped out, and hopeless due to a very stressful situation. And I was introduced to Isagenix by a former colleague, and as a result, I was able to start waking up before the alarm clock. I regained amazing energy, mental clarity, my skin was glowing, and I released 21 pounds and 28 inches on my first system. And because of that, I've been a passionate advocate of sharing Isagenix for many, many years, because I truly believe everyone deserves to live in a healthy, vibrant body and to own their life. And I've never seen a vehicle that helps people do that in the same way. So when I say Isagenix completely changed my life and it's a game changer, I 100% believe that, and I believe it can do the same for you. And I certainly made a lot of mistakes along the way and didn't have a lot of training or guidance to follow. So I'm really hoping that this is helpful to you guys and that it's going to make your journey that much more productive, I guess. All right. So I'm going to start, whoopsie, sorry guys. I'm going to start with a short little video because everybody's starting in a different place, but a lot of people I have certainly found can end up being in a bit of a place that's stuck. So we'll start with this.
Whoa, that's not good.
Eat this. I'm already late.
Somebody will come. Anybody out there?
Do you have a phone?
No. Sorry. Somebody! Hello? There are 2 people stuck on an escalator and we need help. Now, would somebody please do something? I don't believe this. You gotta be kidding me.
I'm gonna cry.
Well, there's nothing else left to do. So. Hello? Hey, don't worry about it. I'll fix it in a second. He said he can fix it. All right. All right. That's more like it. Who says he can fix it?
Walking down the sidewalk, kicking my feet as I move to the music. Step to the beat, I woke today, canceled all my plans, and I stepped right outside with my guitar in my hands, and the notes became alive. The sound caressed the air, and I kicked it up a notch as I strolled without a care, 'cause I'm going down the road to a brand new place, and I'm getting.
All right, so you know your escalator might be in in the arena of health, it might be in the arena of finances, it might be in all different kinds of arenas, but maybe nobody here is in this place or has ever felt stuck, but certainly we all know somebody who is stuck, and I believe that Isagenix can be the way off that escalator of being stuck, but we just have to take that step and have to take that action. So one of the determining factors really of your success is, I believe, a high level of belief. And we must believe in the product, we must believe in ourselves and in others, the people that we're working with. We must believe in the company and the founders, the compensation plan, and the industry of network marketing. And yourself as a person. So the products that they'll work for you, number one, and others. Number two, the company of Isagenix, which we're going to learn a little bit more about. Our incredibly generous compensation structure, the industry or profession of network marketing, and yourself. For me, number 5 was the biggest one I had to work on. Actually, 4 and 5 were the biggest ones that I had to personally work on. So what is this thing called network marketing? You know, for me, I didn't really understand it, and I had some negative connotations around it, although I wasn't sure why I had those negative connotations. They were definitely there. So we're going to just watch a short little video. Some of you have seen this one. But there are some, it's funny and it's cute, but listen to some of the statistics that this talks about, because there's some really great statistics in here. Oh, and the media is not found. And that's interesting because we just played this a week ago. So I will post that video in our business group, you guys. I know some of you have seen it, and it's quite an eye-opening. But here are some interesting facts about the industry. Every year, over 2,000 network marketing companies are born or start. So, you know, you've probably been approached, oh, it's just a startup. It's amazing. It's the best time to get started. I personally don't believe that. I would never get involved with a brand new startup company because only approximately 10% make it to their first year anniversary. I was shocked by these facts. 67 companies have ever made it to 100 million per year. That's in the whole industry of the industry is decades and decades old. 48 companies have ever made it to 250 million per year. Only 4 companies have ever made it to 250 million per year and continue to grow and expand to their in their domestic market. And we're now, actually, this has to get updated because we made it to almost 900 million a year and still continue to grow in our own domestic market, which is just absolutely phenomenal. And I had no idea how big this profession actually was until I saw this, and this really blew my mind. So this is a older statistic, so these numbers are probably a little different, but the NFL, which we've all heard of, 8.5 billion, the music industry, twice that, about 16 billion, video gaming, huge, I didn't know that. The film industry, 80 billion, organic products, 91 billion, and I bet that's growing. Network marketing, $167 billion a year. And you know that network marketing pays out $200 million a day in commissions. So it's a very real and viable profession, and more companies are using the method or distribution model of direct from the company to the consumer. So what is it really? And I truly think this represents Isagenix beautifully. You know, we have a gift. We have something that we know can bless lives, and there are people out there who are either looking for a solution, which I was. My health was really in decline. I was looking for a solution for my health. And there are people with dreams that have been put on the back burner, dreams that they, kind of maybe think can never happen, or they just get so busy surviving that those dreams seem so distant. And when we connect with those people and offer our solutions to the people looking for them, for the dreams or the solutions, then that is what it's really all about. It's not about going out and selling a box of shakes. It's so much bigger than that. So the vision of Isagenix is something that I absolutely was able to totally get behind, because I've been into health and wellness for 30 years. And The vision to impact world health and free people from physical and financial pain, while in the process creating the largest health and wellness company in the world, that gives me goosebumps even now, you guys. And learn to say that, because when you're sharing with people and you say, oh my gosh, I'm partnered with a company whose vision is to free people from physical and financial pain, that's pretty powerful. So make sure that this is something you learn and that you align with. The industry itself, we in our company, over $3 billion in cumulative sales. We almost hit $1 billion in 2015. I'm confident we'll do well over that this year. We have, and I think it's now 176 millionaires. It's hard to keep track because I think there were 4 announced just in the last week. And in 2011, Isagenix was named one of the best companies by the DSA. We almost every year, I think, have been in the Inc. magazine list of the 5,000 fastest growing companies. And there are all kinds of congressional awards and different things, Stevie Awards, etc. This is now, we've moved to number 26. I just don't have the new slide. I'll have to get that from the company. So we're really in good company. This is a company that is being built as a legacy company to be here for us forever and for our children or our children's children. And the Coovers are incredible people. And the industry is recognizing that. We now have also, in 2015, we actually won some Gold Stevie Awards, which are the Oscars of the business world. Our vision is changing lives all over the world. So we're not limited only to our own backyard. These are all the different countries that we're in. And again, that needs to be updated for 2015, but there still is so much growth in our own backyard. And there's a beautiful story called Acres of Diamonds. I'll try to find that and post it in the group because it really speaks to what we're able to do locally. So we are a solutions-based company, right? So we have solutions for weight loss, we have solutions for energy, for performance, for healthy aging, and for wealth creation. And a lot of times, I certainly used to be reluctant to talk about the wealth creation side because I was so passionate about the health side of it. But I realized, people are suffering in silence financially, and we can sometimes see people's physical pain if they're overweight or they're exhausted or they're just unwell. We can see that, but people's financial pain often is something that is so deeply buried that we don't even know. And people who maybe we think are living great lives are struggling to pay their bills. You just don't know. So the important thing to determine really is why. Why are you doing this? Why should people join you? Why do you get up in the morning and get excited about sharing? Let's hope this video is attached. This is a phenomenal video, and I love how Simon talks about this. Oops, sorry guys. Media not found. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna actually, I'm going to find this one, just a sec. All right, sorry guys, I'm going to find that one because that one's really important to what we're going to do. So if anybody wants to unmute or ask any questions or share anything while I'm looking for that, that would be great. And James, maybe you could even unmute and talk a little bit about, because I know you used to do a lot of training about the beliefs, the 5 areas of belief. So let me just jump on YouTube and I'll find that Simon Sinek video, guys.
Yeah, well, Stephanie's doing that. Those 5 areas, I think most of us would find it pretty easy to have a 10 out of 10 on the products. Yes, I mean, we're using the products. We've had great experiences. We've seen lots of other people have great experiences. But I think it's really important the other areas, to re-understand the company, the founders, how unique our company is. I mean, most companies start with a product and then they decide, oh, we'll just, market it through network marketing. And lots of companies never actually have great people that understand network marketing, which is not the case with our company. It's very unique to have a company like ours where we have a genius in terms of product. We have a genius in Jim Coover in terms of developing and managing companies. And then we have somebody that has the experience of Kathy Coover, who's been one of the top distributors in 3 different companies before she ever got to Isagenix. So we have a really unique blend. You have to really understand that. Our compensation plan is absolutely unique. When Stephanie phoned me and I was looking at this company to see if I wanted to join, I actually didn't believe how simple our product plan, our compensation plan was. I kept looking for what I call in other companies, the wrinkles, the parts of the compensation plan that are designed to take money out of your pocket and give it back to the company. And I couldn't find any in Isagenix, and so I didn't believe it. So she finally actually connected me with Kathy Coover because she was the only person I would believe when she said, no, there just aren't any. So our compensation plan is extremely powerful and, again, very unique in the industry. And I think you really need to understand network marketing, what a gift it is that we're professionals in an industry that produces so much success. But as Stephanie said, the absolute most important is I don't care if you've got 10 out of 10 in the first 4. If you don't have 10 out of 10 belief in yourself, it's going to be very, very, very hard for you to be successful in this industry and with this company. So, that's the task. Hit 10s in all 5 areas.
Thank you. And James should know he's been collecting a check in this industry every week for, I think, over 30 years, if I remember correctly. All right. You guys can see the screen again?
Yes.
All right.
And that means 2 things. The library is packed, and I'll be right.
I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your different.
Are you guys not seeing the screen?
Yeah, we were.
Oh, okay. I got a message.
Yes, we were.
Okay, sorry. I got a message that something wasn't. And it's full screen? All good?
That's pretty close, yeah.
Okay.
Value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP, but very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done. That's how most sales is done. And that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do. We say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat screen TVs. They've been making flat screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs. And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products. And nobody. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy an MP3 player from a computer company? But we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. When we communicate from the outside in, yes, people can understand vast amounts of complicated information like features and benefits and facts and figures. It just doesn't drive behavior. When we communicate from the inside out, we're talking direct the part of the brain that controls behavior, and then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say and do. This is where gut decisions come from. You know, sometimes you can give somebody all the facts and your figures, and they say, I know what all the facts and details say, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would we use that verb? It doesn't feel right, because the part of the brain that controls decision-making doesn't control language. And the best we can muster up is, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Or sometimes you say you're leading with your heart, or you're leading with your soul. Well, I hate to break it to you, those aren't the other body parts controlling your behavior. It's all happening here in your limbic brain, the part of the brain that controls decision-making and not language. But if you don't know why you do what you do, and people respond to why you do what you do, then how will you ever get people to vote for you or buy something from you, or more importantly, be loyal?
All right. So that is what was supposed to be playing here. So the why is a really, really important thing. And I just love how he words it, that this was such an eye-opener for me. And I actually was so inspired by this talk that I bought his book, Start With Why. That people aren't going to buy what you do, they buy why you do it. You know, so why is Isagenix is in existence? To free people from physical and financial pain. That's a compelling why. That's a great mission. So this could be an example in putting it into what we do into the golden circles kind of language. Why? Because I believe everyone deserves to live in a healthy, vibrant body and to own their life. As I mentioned, I've believed that for 30 years. And how? Well, we use the vehicle of network marketing, utilizing duplicatable systems that are simple and easy to share. And what is it we do? Well, we build a team of associates who are looking for solutions in the area of weight loss, healthy aging, energy, or performance. And we could add here, or people who are looking for, who have dreams that they're looking to fulfill. So your why is really about what you believe. So that's some work that I love you guys to do, is what do you believe and what is your why? And it begins with you. What are you passionate about? What do you desire to be, do, or have? And who do you want to help? Because those are the conversations that are going to inspire people to join you, if that makes sense. You know, when you're saying that, I know Chelsea is all about helping moms stay home with their children so they can be there for them and to still contribute to the family income. That's really compelling. There are lots of mommies who would probably love to stay home with their kids. And we seem to have this a few times. All right. Why is the why so important? And that's because it keeps you on track in times of fear, uncertainty, doubt, distraction. Those are all things that are absolutely going to happen. There are going to be people who say no to you. There are going to be people who think you're crazy. There are going to be those dream stealers. But when I post that little cartoon video in the group, please watch it, because be aware of who you're talking to. Be aware of whose voice is in your head trying to talk you out of this, or trying to talk you into quitting, or trying to talk you into not even starting or not sharing. So how do we get started in this? Well, it's a really simple business to start, but it is a business and it is a profession. So I think somebody's still unmuted. If you would please mute yourself, because I'm hearing some background noise. We want a nice clean recording. Thank you so much. So you want to set yourself up for business. And what does that mean? Well, a dedicated workspace. Do you need to have a beautiful big office, corner office? No, absolutely not. But even if it's, Susan Sly, one of our top income earners in our company, she started with a little desk in her son's closet. That's how she started out. It might be your kitchen table. It might be something in your, a space in your bedroom. But make sure that when you sit down in that space, you know that you're sitting down to do your work. So, if you have a vision board or goals, or have that space be inspiring to you, so that you can really get motivated to work. Professional voicemail. Hang on a sec, you guys. I'm going to just stop the screen share and mute for a quick sec, because I don't know if you guys are hearing that, but
it might be me, Steph.
Who's me?
Joe.
Oh, I'm
trying to do it on my iPad. I'm trying to find where my mute is at.
I'm muting you.
Okay.
All right. And then a professional voicemail. It just sets the right tone if people are calling you. And one of the best professional voicemails I've heard recently is Lauren Raymond. So if you guys want to get on chat, and if she's willing to share her phone number, you want to listen to that. I never kind of understand why people don't have a voicemail set up, where it's just the automated numbers or something, and then you wonder, am I reaching the right person? Did I dial the wrong number? Your voice is what should be on your voicemail. That's why it's called voicemail, right? And people can leave their voice on your voicemail. So make sure it's professional and inviting and happy. Make sure you know how to do that. You have three-way calling, which almost every phone company now just automatically does, and that you know how to do it. Have a professional email signature and an email address. So, if you were into cupcakes, rainbows, and kitty cats at one time, and that's your email address, you may want to rethink. I'm not saying don't be yourself. Of course, you want to be yourself and have that flair and flavor of who you are, but you want to make it professional. Ideally, it's your name, or if you have sort of a signature hashtag that people know you as, that's a good thing as well. So that would be something I would encourage you to do. And have some sort of daily method of operation. I'm a big believer in planning your day the night before. And when I do that, when I plan my day the night before, before I shut things down, I write down, who do I want to talk to tomorrow? Who am I following up with tomorrow? Who are my cleansers that I need to connect with tomorrow? Then I don't come into my office in the next day and going, okay, so I've got to work now, and what do I do? What should I do? So have a plan and write it out. And it doesn't necessarily, everybody organizes differently. Some people like it really structured. They might say from 8 to 8:30 I'm doing this, and from 9 to 10 I'm doing this. I'm not that structured, but I am structured enough to have it laid out what I will be doing that day. Of course, I do have, if I have phone three-way calls or whatever, or meetings, that is slotted into timelines, but otherwise it's just a plan. I do have a written plan. Show up as who you want to attract, and that's kind of a big one too. And again, I'm not saying you have to wear suits and high heels, because I'm in my yoga pants and a comfy shirt, but you want to just present yourself in I guess if you were going to go to, say, a birthday party or to a business lunch or a business breakfast, casual, that's how you want to present yourself. So attending events and team calls and participating in the Facebook group, that's a big part of it, guys. That's staying plugged in. That's staying and touching your business. It's really important kind of to touch your business every day. And one of the things I love about that Very Inspired People group are all the contributions and just all the information that's shared there and the motivations, and we all contribute to that. We'll do a little more training on exactly what that's about for those of you who are new to it. So the fundamentals. One of the most powerful marketing tools you will ever have is your 30-second story. And you want to be able to share that. We'll talk about that a little more. You want to be able to plug people in, learn how to add people to how to invite people to the VIP group, how to share information, how to do a one-on-one presentation. Three-way phone calls are absolutely another phenomenal tool that I was very resistant to using, but now have fallen in love with and find it extremely effective. Handling objections when you're brand new, you don't even really have to learn that because you'll be doing your conversations, most of them with someone else. Explaining the compensation plan, at least the basics, the ACMDE. We do have a training that we just recorded, I think last week or the week before on that, if you want more information. And to be able to give a brief product overview. Now, do not become an encyclopedia. Do not learn all the ingredients and about ashwagandha extract and shilajit and where it comes from. People don't want that much information generally as a rule. But you want to be able to just, briefly explain or answer questions. And then 8 steps. These are the 8 steps to launching an associate, which we'll get into later in the training. So developing your story is really, your story is what gets people excited about joining you. It's not statistic, it's not the science, it's not. So for example, if I was to share with you guys that I went to this fantastic restaurant. It's brand new. It just opened, and it's an Italian place. I know you love, let's say, I know that you love scampi. And I said, they have the best scampi I've ever had. You have got to go there or come with me. We're going for lunch. I'm not going to sit there and tell you how big the building is and the chef, how long he studied and where he got his recipe and what's in the recipe and what the waitress was wearing and what the lighting is like and what the menus look like. So that's when I know you guys think that sounds silly, but honestly, as new people, a lot of times, I certainly did, I just did the whole verbal vomit all over everybody and shared way too much information. So it's better to talk to a lot more people saying a lot less than saying a lot to a few people. Learn to share your story with enthusiasm and passion, because again, that's what gets people excited. Learn to share it in the moment. I have shared my story on an elevator when I just met someone. So it has to be quick and it has to be in the moment. I can't plan for it every time. And also keep it short. And 30-second story is a great guideline. Now, if you're doing a launch party or something, you're going to share a little longer version of your story, or if you're doing a training on stage or on a 3-way call, it may be a little longer, but once you have it down to 30 seconds, you can play around with it. And also learn the Isagenix story of other team members, because if you're talking to someone who's a bodybuilder, you might want to know Joe Roybal's story, because maybe your story is that you dropped 30 pounds. So your story may not be relevant. So you definitely want to tell a story that is relevant to the person you're talking to and the solutions they're seeking. Be able to tell it, as I said, in the moment. Also be able to tell the Isagenix story. Our company is such an impressive company, and James touched on that. Our formulator having 30-year history in the formulation industry. And the Coovers, the executive team we have, all of that you can read on your replicated websites, or if you don't know your replicated website address, isagenix.com. Read about the company, read about the executive team. You guys, you'll be blown away. We're in such good hands and poised for massive, massive growth. So how do we, and enthusiasm, that's absolutely the key. So how do we tell our 30-second story? And this is really a formula. And I don't know if those of you who noticed, I told it at the very beginning of this call. I said, how was I feeling before? Now, don't get into a big long, oh, for 5 years I was going to doctors and blah, blah, blah. Just say how you were feeling, 2 or 3 key things. I was exhausted. I was living on energy drinks, or I couldn't get up without coffee. I was falling asleep in the afternoon. Whatever your before was, tell how you were feeling, and then how you were introduced to Isagenix, and by whom, what was the relationship? Because there you're kind of planting a seed that this is a referral-based business. Oh, somebody referred you to this. A friend told you about it. My sister told me about it, my chiropractor. So tell them who told you, what the relationship is, and then what happened. As a result, I'm now feeling, sleeping so well. I wake up energized in the morning. Make your benefits that you're now experiencing relevant to, to counteract what you were feeling before. So, if you said I was feeling exhausted and I had no energy and I had to take a nap in the afternoon, and then you say, and now my skin is really glowing and I feel great in my jeans, it kind of doesn't tie together. If that makes sense. And then what are you doing as a result of it? So, and now I said, as a result, now I'm sharing Isagenix with everyone I can, because I really believe it's a gift and we all deserve to live in a healthy, vibrant body. So you want people to know that not only did you have a wonderful experience, but you are now sharing that gift with other people. You want them to know that you're the person to go to if they're interested. So a lot of people say, so how do I explain it? Or somebody said, well, what is it? And inevitably, 9 times out of 10, when somebody asks a new associate what it is, they go into the whole, well, you're replacing meals with shakes, and you make these shakes and they're from New Zealand, happy cows. Oh my God. And it's undenatured protein, so it's really good. And so you have to have that for your lunch, your breakfast and dinner. And then you're doing these cleanse days where you don't get to eat anything all day. You don't get to eat anything, and you drink this juice and blah, blah, blah. And people are glazing over at this time because they just really said, what is it, right? It's a general kind of thing. So don't go into details. Don't explain how the program works. Even when people go so far as to ask me, well, how does the program work? I say, you know what, the how, we walk you through that. You get coaching, you get support, you get a guide on how to do everything. Let's first figure out if this is something you want to do and why you want to do it. Because really that's what's important. So I generally say, when people say, so what is Isagenix, or what is this program you're on? This works really well for me, and there are different ways certainly to answer it, but I'll say something like, depending on who I'm talking to, well, you know how we live in a really toxic world, and wait for them to nod or agree. And you know how our food supply is really depleted of nutrients, and most people know that and they agree. Say, well, this program actually addresses both of those issues with a really simple system, and I feel amazing while I'm on it. So it can be that simple. I didn't mention shakes, I didn't mention cleansing, I didn't mention detoxing or anything. Now tailor it to who's asking. So if you have an athlete, if you're talking to an athlete, you could say, well, you know how athletes are spending hours and hours in the kitchen and spending so much money on getting really good, healthy food because they have to do all this food prep and it's so much work. Well, what we do is really simplify that process with a simple system that gets delivered to your door, and it just makes your food prep so much easier. One sec. I had to close the door. If you're talking to an exhausted mommy, say, well, you know how so many of us are walking around just like zombies, tired all the time and no energy to play with the kids. Well, what we do is help people just regain their energy and feel amazing and be able to get up in the morning and feel great all day. So just talk about it in those general kind of terms and customize it. All right, so this was truly a business of connecting. So we're going to end this with kind of what's next. So if you haven't made your list yet, some of you are brand new on here and maybe don't have a list. A great way to make your list is to watch every movie at IsaMovie. So that's isamovie.com. and make a list for each of the videos on there. There will be people who pop into your mind as you're watching it. Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, that lady's a flight attendant. I know somebody who's a flight attendant. Just watch that list. Don't prejudge. If somebody comes into your mind or kind of comes up in your heart, please write their name down. Don't prejudge whether they will or won't be interested, or if you're scared to talk to them or not. Just make the list. And think about and look for people with large circles of influence, people who are already successful, people who have leadership skills, certainly people who are health-minded. Don't do what I did, which was trying to drag people away from the McDonald's drive-thru and convince them there was a better way. That's exhausting. You want to find people who are energetic and happy, people who are goal-getters, like people you like to spend time with. Don't prejudge, as I mentioned. Certainly look for people in network marketing. If you're putting together a football team, you'd be looking for football players, right? And look for leaders and always prospect up. And what that means is the people that you admire. Who are the most exceptional people you know that you look up to? And this training is done in person. So the memory joggers actually can be found on isagenixbusiness.com. And Chelsea, maybe if I could ask you to post a direct link to the memory jogger from that site in our business group, that would be phenomenal. I'm just totally throwing Chelsea on the spot. All right. And from that, you should have a 100 names list. And I know that sounds daunting, and most people go, oh, I don't know 100 people. Well, I'll tell you, there are people on this very call right now who we went through their friend list, and there were people on their Facebook friend list who they hadn't ever thought of. Even 4 years in, they hadn't approached them, they hadn't made it to their list. And I'll bet you that I bet almost everybody on here has way more than 100 friends on their Facebook. So certainly identify the top 10 people that you want to approach first. Like if you were going to put together a board of directors for your corporation, who would those people be? Enlist the help of your sponsor or upline leader to help you make the initial presentation or how to contact those people. And use the VIP page. You guys, a lot of you, the new people are coming in through that page. You've seen how powerful it is. So definitely use that page to invite guests to. And then right away help your new people enroll their new associate goal consultant. We're going to get more into that, the ACMDE again. And just keep going until you find the people who are really motivated. So the 10-name quick start is going to be where we start with. And so the assignment for this week is to make a list of 100 or more names, and then to share your story 15 times before next week. Now, that can mean that you call your best friend and say, hey, listen, I need to practice something. I have an assignment from a training group I'm in, and would it be okay if I practiced with you? If you want to, hang on, I'm going to get out of screen share now because we are done with this portion. Okay. If you want to, write out your story and send it to whoever you're working with, or send it to me, or share it in the business group and get some input, we're all work together. We're definitely happy to help with that so that you feel confident in it. And I think it was Jennifer from Edmonton who was saying, like, Jennifer, the more times you tell it, the more comfortable it gets, right? It is just really that repetition. All right. Okay, so I would love everyone to unmute. That concludes our training, and I would just love to hear some takeaways and or questions. I don't know if there's a way to unmute everybody. There must be. Manage participants. Unmute. Oh, maybe not. All right. You guys know how to unmute yourselves, and I'll unmute Joe in case he doesn't know how.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it. Hey, Joe. So a lot of you don't know Joe's story, so if you don't, please read about it in our Facebook page. It's an incredible, inspiring story. You're my hero. And I have much love and respect for you, and it's wonderful to see you here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Love you, man.
Love you too.
All right, so takeaways, questions? Yes, Penny.
I have a takeaway. Like, I talk to people about Isagenix every day, but I am not telling my story. Like, I'm not utilizing my 30-second story when I'm sharing with them. And that is something that I'm going to start implementing the homework this week and see what happens with that.
And that's
I guess they tell us to do it for a reason. So
it could be. And you know what? I know that you and I have had this discussion that you don't feel like you have this, you know, oh, I dropped 50 pounds. So, you know, you feel like your story maybe isn't big or powerful or wow, but it is, because you were already doing, you know, you were the perfect eater. You were doing all those right things as well. And yet you still took your health to a whole new level. This is the same situation as Lauren Raymond. She kind of thought, well, I don't really have, you know, a big story, but it is a big story. And it might be just what somebody needs to hear. And if it's not your story they need to hear, maybe it's my story that they need to hear, or Christine's story, or Pia's story. You know, make it fit for them. We have lots of stories.
but it's a story for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Stephanie.
Yes. Hi.
People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
Whew, I seriously, like, I get goosebumps listening to Simon Sinek. I love him. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, anything else?
I liked the part when you were talking about, when you use the restaurant analogy, how when you refer a restaurant, you don't talk about where the cook came from and his experience and the tables and the building, because I know I love all the details, and I've had a hard time with that. I've gotten better, but that was a big aha moment for me, just to hear it in those terms, instead of just what not to do, but just to hear it used differently. I really like that.
Thank you. And based on that that little analogy too, you know, when people say, well, I want to see how it works for me, and if I like it, I tell people, and those of you who have done three-way calls with me know this, have heard this. I'll say, well, think about this. If you heard about a fabulous new restaurant and you checked it out online and you were pretty sure it looked really good, and your friend told you it was really good, would you go there by yourself to check it out before you invited your two best friends to have lunch with you, or would you invite a few people to go check it out, right? So bring people on this journey. Don't be scared. Thank you. All right, one more.
I want to say something. For me, knowing that only 10% of the companies make it through the first year, I think that's what I saw there. For me, that's very important, because it gives me this peace of mind, or like, Isagenix has been more than 10 years on the market, and that gives me like confidence, and empowers me, or gives me more, I don't know how to say that in English in this moment, but it's important for me, like, I'm in the right place.
Yes.
Yeah.
14 years and counting.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you want to share, James, before we end the call?
Yeah. You know, a couple of things. You know, any company accumulated sales is amazing, and to do it in 14 years is over the top. I mean, we are with such a good company, but you know, to me, even more important than the company is the people. And you know, not only our corporate people, but you know, look at our team. You know, here's Stephanie, an Isagenix millionaire, taking us through the basics, and the basics she knows really, really well, because it's what she does, you know, every day, every week still, because, you know, 1 million's not nearly enough. You know, and I get that she's in service to all of us, because, you know, what she'd really like is to see, I don't know, there's 20 some odd people on the call tonight, you know, that, you know, maybe we'd have a call with 20 millionaires, you know, helping the next 100 people get that to that level. So, you know, here we are as a team working together, and that's what I really love. I really love that about what Stephanie is leading us to.
Thank you. Well, that's a beautiful way to end it. I'm really excited that you guys have joined us. I know a couple of people couldn't join tonight and want to jump on. So if you have people like that on your team, please make sure they watch this before and with enough time to do the assignment before joining us next week, but they're certainly welcome to join us. So thank you guys all so much. I truly believe in each and every one of you. If any of you need help with anything specific, don't hesitate to reach out. And I'll see you guys next week for week 2 of basic training.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Everyone.
Hey, Joe.
Bye.
Hey,
Good to
guys.
see